This is another weekend. We're in this pattern, another system that could bring rain and even storms to parts of the southeast.
Yeah, December, it just feels like we can't catch a break. We've been going so long without rain, and then we finally get rain, and it comes every weekend in December, unfortunately.
That's the pattern that we're in right now. We have another system on the way, a lot to talk about. You can see already some wet weather back to the west that is approaching the state, and this will be arriving for us. It will be bringing some rain late tomorrow, so plan for those showers to make a return. That's the next big thing, but you can see what's happening here as we look at the setup here on Weather Extra. You can see how we've got this trough that's going to be digging in across the eastern U.S., and that's going to spin up a low pressure system over the Gulf of Mexico. The pressure levels with that thing could be as low as 990 millibars, and when you get those lower pressures, that drives up the wind speed. Parts of Florida expecting winds that could approach tropical storm force as this thing moves in, and you can see how that lifts off to the north, but notice where it is located. It is located to the south and east of us. It's almost like we're watching a tropical system here, but this is a low pressure surface low. It's going to be deepening, and then it's going to be tracking to the north, and as this system digs in across our state late tomorrow, it's going to bring a chance for showers, breezy conditions, and clouds. Just basically some unsettled, dreary kind of weather there as we go through tomorrow night. But we're not expecting severe weather or tornadoes or anything like that. We just have a first alert for showers coming back, mostly after 2 o'clock tomorrow. Some gusty winds tomorrow night, possibly topping 20 miles per hour. And you can see those showers will be moving out early on Sunday. So here's what the model data looks like. And you can see right now the weather for this evening staying mainly dry and a clear sky until tomorrow morning. That's when those clouds really start to roll in. Clouds thicken up throughout the day, and it looks like the rain holds off until late afternoon. I mean, here's 2 o'clock tomorrow. We're not seeing a lot, but those showers will start to increase going into the evening. So plan for those impacts with some of that rain building in, especially for areas to the south. It's not just an extreme rain event or all weekend washout, but there will be a chance for some showers tomorrow evening. Live look from Coleman right now, WKUL. The temperature down to 52 degrees. Still chilly out there tonight. We've got the 7-day forecast, plus we take you beyond this 7-day later in the show.
And even though our area won't be seeing the threat for severe weather this weekend, our friends along the Gulf Coast in Florida will be certainly experiencing it. Meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now for an in-depth look at the system.
The big story this weekend, of course, is that low that's going to develop in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to create a lot of trouble across the East Coast. I know we've been giving you that first alert about that. Thankfully, the worst is going to be to our south and east, but this low is going to form and develop and move on along the coast and be a big nor'easter perhaps for the northeast and New England going into early next week. But how is that going to impact perhaps the Alabama Gulf Coast? Now, the good news is that I think most of this energy, stormy weather will stay to the east, but it's going to create significant wave heights in the Gulf of Mexico. So that means a high rip current threat Saturday and Sunday. Of course, I don't think anyone's going to be diving into the water because temperatures are struggling to hit 60. But yeah, there will see a rip current threat. There could be some minor beach erosion with the sand as well. And those rip currents should diminish by the time we go into Monday, but it is going to be pretty breezy along the coast. So the beach forecast, maybe you're planning on heading down to see family, friends, or just want to go for a little bit of a vacation down to the beach this weekend. There will be a chance for some showers, not a washout. The bulk of the heaviest rain will likely be impacting the Florida Peninsula, but plan for some rain Saturday and drying out going into Sunday with winds moving in from the north-northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. So we got to look at your Gulf Coast forecast for the next 7 days. We got the rain, maybe a rumble of thunder Saturday, but look at the rest of the upcoming week. Maybe you were planning on traveling down next week for the holidays. Not too bad. Temperatures going to be mainly in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and lows will be chilly down there, upper 30s and going into the 40s by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning. Maybe you're traveling up to the mountains, the Smoky Mountains, and it's going to be pretty chilly there, and we're looking at a good chance for rain Sunday as that low moves off across the East Coast. So Sunday looks dreary and wet. We'll see some lingering showers perhaps and chilly conditions. Temperatures only warming up into the low to mid 40s Monday and Tuesday, and drying out Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures likely warming up into the lower 50s. But look at those morning temperatures, very cold, frigid starts Tuesday and Wednesday with those temperatures into the 20s. Just a reminder, download the WBRC First Alert weather app. If you're traveling wherever you go, you can get the latest forecast through there. Have a safe weekend. And of course, we'll keep you updated on the forecast through the First Alert weather app.
Thanks, Matt. And as we've seen just this past weekend and previous weather events, tornadoes have cut a violent path through our state, and some of those happen at night. Research from Northern Illinois University finds that tornadoes are happening more often in the southeast, also known as Dixie Alley. With population growth comes more housing and commercial development, some of those structures being weaker frame housing. It's certainly easy to get caught off guard while you're sleeping, which is why nighttime tornadoes can be all the more dangerous. That's why we always encourage you here at the First Alert Weather Team the importance of having multiple ways to receive alerts.
This past weekend is a prime example. I've seen so many times before a tornado, just seconds, just minutes before that tornado happens, the power goes out. And you've got to have some way of getting that alert. It's so important that you know ahead of time that there could be severe weather, so you have that device that can provide that first alert.
That's great information there, Wes. And you can download the First Alert weather app on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store on your mobile device. And as always, tune in right here to WBRC when severe weather is in the forecast, and also on the boring days, too. Well, beyond the atmosphere, not so boring, one of the strongest solar flares ever recorded took place yesterday. According to the Space Weather Prediction Center, the solar flare happened on the far northwest area of the sun. Scientists say that it's likely one of the largest solar radio events ever recorded. Multiple National Weather Service Center have been reporting that radio communication interference with aircrafts has been occurring. The southern part of North America to South America reported the highest impacts. And on that note, NASA is having problems with communications from Voyager 1, which is one of the longest operating spacecraft in history. According to the space agency, the mission control team has been receiving repeating patterns of ones and zeros, meaning that no data is being transferred back to Earth. Commands have since been sent to the spacecraft to restart the systems, but no usable data has been returned. Get this, NASA launched initially the Voyager spacecraft back in 1977 to study the far reaches of space, and it finally reached interstellar space just a little over a decade ago. So goodness, I hope they have safe travels getting out there to check on that one. Well, coming up in 30 seconds, we take an update on our local forecast this evening, and meteorologist Tania Michelle takes us on a trip on Mets Around the World.
Well, this evening, as we go to First Alert AccuTrack radar, we are very dry, and actually, when you look at the satellite data, there's hardly any cloud cover out there, but the temperature's tumbling now down to 41 in Jasper, 45 in Pell City. Another chilly night, but dry weather expected for this Friday evening. But let me show you what is on the way here. When we back the view out, look to the west, you can see this ribbon of clouds and also showers. This is some of that wet weather that's going to start to impact us tomorrow, and also some showers will start to lift in from the south. All this is just going to kind of phase up here. It looks like as we go into the day tomorrow, we start out dry, but be ready for some of this wet weather to come back by tomorrow evening. And we'll check on the full 7-day forecast as we continue with Weather Extra.
Thanks, Wes. Well, last week, Belle Oliver joined us for Mets Around the World to talk about the East Mississippi, NWA, and AMS chapters. Today, we share her weather story and how she got her interest in weather in the first place.
Let's go back to the beginning of your journey, Belle. I know you obviously love the weather. You're at least interested in it. So where did that interest begin?
I was thinking about this question. I figured you'd ask it. April 27th happened in North Alabama, and that just completely wrecked my world. You know, I'm originally from Rainsville, and so I'm not from Fort Payne, but Rainsville, it's really close. But there was an EF4 that came through our town, and there is a monument. Unfortunately, a lot of people passed away, and just hearing some of those stories, I was terrified. I was straight up terrified. I thought that every storm system that would come through would produce a tornado that large, and produce that much damage. And I actually had to go to counseling for it, because I could not sleep. I was so terrified. I remember I would sneak my iPad that I had for school. I'd sneak it into my room in the middle of the night if storms were going to come, and I'd just watch radar feed. Just every time radar would update, I'd watch it. Just trying to, I don't even know. It just felt like I was safer if I had the radar and I was looking at it.
That's a great story there. We love to hear people inspired. Hate to hear the severe weather happens, but man, a lot of meteorologists come from those events. So even though we won't be seeing severe weather this weekend, we still have some rain to track. Wes breaks down rainfall totals, and I'll take you beyond the 7-day to Christmas week after the break.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. You can see that crescent moon right there, the view from Brookwood Baptist Medical Center. Still clear sky for this evening. That temperature down to 51. It is certainly chilly out there. But yesterday we started talking to Kirk Junkin. Tomorrow marks the anniversary of the December 16, 2000 tornado. It impacted Tuscaloosa, and we can't forget it also impacted East Alabama. Areas you go into St. Clair and into parts of Etowah County. It was 2000. It was an F4, and it was a significant tornado. There were 11 fatalities in Tuscaloosa County on that day. But we checked in with Kurt. He was a storm spotter at the time. He was on the scene as the tornado crossed Tuscaloosa County, and we follow up with the rest of his story. Well, Kirk, I've certainly seen the great work that you do talking to students and kids with interest in weather, and I know that the event on December 16th certainly changed your life, and it changed a lot of our views on weather and just seeing what took place in Tuscaloosa on that day. And to see that happen again in the year 2011, what was going through your mind? I mean, after what happened in 2000, to see that same sort of thing, I mean, in the terms of weather, I mean, that's not a great time scale there that we're talking about. I mean, to see another major tornado on camera.
Yeah, and there it is right there on camera. And there was multiple ones across the state, and it was just unbelievable the difference in the time frame from the 2000 storm to the 2011, and then even the ones that occurred in the past week or so. Is just the technology continues to advance, not only in radar systems and warning systems and things like that, but the technology of seeing the storm, seeing the tornado. And now several meteorologists have written papers and have had discussions about the general public. They're again not taking this seriously, but putting those type pictures, even though they could be, traumatic for some, and see it happening in real time, but that may be what it takes to actually make people weather aware, because they might get lost in the greens and the reds and the yellows on the radar, but seeing something live on camera is visual proof that something is going on and could be threatening their life. And so I think the technology, as it continues to develop, will may legitimize and make people really stand up and be alert on the first alert weather days.
And we certainly appreciate Kirk spending some time with us there and talking about what's to be expected, or what was happening there with the December 16th tornado. I want to switch sources as we go to First Alert AccuTrack radar and show you the current temperatures you can see across the area. 43 right now at Pell City, 58 degrees at Tuscaloosa, but very dry conditions at the moment. As we look to the west, we do have a system on the way. This will impact us late tomorrow. I'm not expecting severe weather with this, but we will have some showers coming back during the afternoon. You can see a big swirl in the atmosphere. We have a trough that's digging in, and when I say trough, I'm talking about the winds aloft that are starting to dive it southward there. We're seeing the jet stream take a dip, and what happens when you start to see that upper level support like that, it helps to generate storm systems, and what will happen is this will all evolve into a powerful low that's going to be lifting out of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's why we think places like Florida is going to have some gusty winds, possible threat of severe weather there in the area south. That's all going to stay south of us. We catch the north end of this, so that's why we mostly expect just showers and breezy conditions. As you can see tonight, though, no problems right now. If you're heading out this evening and then out the door tomorrow morning, you can see around 6 a.m. temperatures in the 40s, and clouds will be on the increase throughout the day. And then here comes the chance for showers. We could see maybe some development after lunchtime to the far south, but the better chance by 6, 7 o'clock. And even then, model data is showing most of the wet weather south and east, with a lesser coverage perhaps for areas to the north and west as we go into the evening. But it's going to be kind of drizzly, misty, cloudy. This won't be a heavy rain event. We're not going to pick up 3 or 4 inches of rain out of a setup like this. It's just going to be more of a nuisance, some wet roads, and plan for those impacts into early Sunday. And actually, it looks like Sunday we're going to get this out of here early in the day, but those clouds may stick around for a good part of the day on Sunday, and temperatures will be on the fall as well as that north wind makes a return. So the way this is all timing out, we should be in okay shape for the graduation. Should be able to capture some graduation photos in Tuscaloosa tomorrow morning at UAE. You can see by the evening, again, rain chances will go up. And then for the Chelsea parade, also for the first part of the day early on, low rain chances, but watch out by lunchtime and into the afternoon. We could start to see some showers. And the same for the Rock Run Christmas parade. Watch Watch out for that chance for a few scattered showers by the evening, but the parade starts at 2 o'clock, and hopefully by then it's mostly just cloudy with a temperature there close to 50 degrees. That's in Cherokee County, by the way. Our 7-day forecast again tomorrow night and into early on Sunday, the chance for wet weather. And then as we look ahead to next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you could see there the forecast temperatures will be topping out right there close to 49 on Tuesday. So it's going to be a very cold day there on Tuesday. Overnight low temperatures near freezing. But one thing last year at this time, meteorologist Lauren Linehan, you remember we were calling for a major cold snap. We had frozen pipes. It was a mess right around Christmas time. But this year it looks like at least temperatures are going to be more on the seasonal side.
Yeah, Wes, fortunately that doesn't look to be the case for us this time of the year. But as we look beyond the 7-day at that first alert weather calendar, we do notice a couple of days like Christmas Day and possibly the day after Christmas for the possibility to see some at least rain in the forecast. So now we want to pull up for you what we're going to be looking at as we head towards the weekend. We are expecting this weekend at least the potential for some rain, but looking at temperatures 8 to 14 days from now, just like Wes was saying, it doesn't look like temperatures are going to be freezing around Christmas. Now we could see some freezing temperatures next week, but nothing like that crazy Arctic cold we got last year. Instead, it looks like the temperature trend is actually going slightly above average. And then as far as the rainfall outlook, potentially above average towards the end of the month. And I think this pattern could kick off a little closer towards Christmas. So as we look at the future cast here and check out things beyond the 7-day, it does look like for the couple of days before Christmas, we could be fairly dry, maybe some clouds around, but here we go, Christmas Eve, beginning to see a system developing off to our west, possibly bringing us some rain as we get into Christmas Day, if not the day after Christmas. So this is still a ways out. The forecast can and will change. We're just kind of giving you an idea of trends as we get beyond the 7-day and looking at that Christmas forecast. Well, here in Alabama, we're still in cleanup mode after 2 confirmed tornadoes moved through the Birmingham metro this weekend. And in Tennessee, where tornadoes turned deadly, it's all hands on deck. Animal shelters are trying to reunite pets with tornado survivors after the storms displaced thousands of people. Alexandra Cohen reports.
Stray animals have been coming in left and right after the tornado.
We've stationed officers up in that area just to kind of watch out for strays. Also for members of that community up in that area that were affected.
At Montgomery County Animal Care and Control, they've been able to reunite 7 pets with their owners so far.
This one, the owner's still in the hospital. I think a family friend's coming to pick him up.
Director Dave Caskey says some of the dogs were hurt by debris.
He had a bad cut to the back of his leg from the storm.
They're also accepting pet food to distribute to tornado survivors for free.
Everybody's starting to dig out of the rubble now. It's been really picking up.
And we talked to one tornado survivor who stopped by to get cat food. She tells us it's one less thing for them to have to worry about.
It said everything. It's a weight off of us. You know, we have so much to deal with between going through insurances, finding a new home to live in, relying on friends and family when we don't normally rely on them.
Rebecca says their home was hit hard, but fortunately they have a place to stay.
People are willing to help even the 4-legged critters that we consider our children. I mean, just everything.
For now, they'll keep trying to reunite these pets with their owners.
I can't imagine how terrified they must be. Their home's gone or they can't find their owners.
Oh, that just touches the heart here. And we certainly hope during this season, if you're able to, we always love to give back to the animal community, especially those in need in Tennessee. Well, we'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra after the break.
All right, it's time for First Alert Weather Extra weather photos. Are you ready here, Lauren? We've got a sunrise at Oak Mountain Intermediate School, and we want to thank Mr. Ricky for sharing this. And lovely colors out there early in the day. How about this one from Pat and Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice.
We got a few clouds overhead. Check out the colors there, Coleman. A nice glow to the sky early, and then we've had these lovely crescent moon photos. This coming in from Lonnie, Pleasant Grove High School.
Yeah.
Winfield, Alabama in the house. Want to thank Karen Perkins for sharing this photo, but lots of weather photos, and keep sending those our way.
And let's look at this one right behind us, Wes, that was sent in from our weather watcher, Tyler Young. A beautiful view of the crescent moon in Trussville. And thank you to Linda Waters for sending me this little necklace of the crescent moon. She says she also calls it the fingernail moon too. So thanks for looking out, Linda.
See you tonight, first at 9.